Now, if you are one of these powerfully built company director types and you still think you've got a bit of lead in your pencil, the chances are you drive a big, luxurious, comfy saloon such as the Audi RS7. Much like the BMW M6 Grand Coupe and the Mercedes CLS AMG, it's a car that still prioritises the driver over those in the back seats. Now, you'll hopefully be familiar with a few fast Audi stereotypes when it comes to assessing S and RS models, and seems like a good enough place to start as any with this RS7. Number one, fast Audis tend to look quite good, don't they? And I think that this one looks fantastic. The RS7 isn't an especially new design anymore, but I still think it's low and it's wide, the proportions are spot on. It's a really, really good looking car. Inside is pretty good too. The funny thing being that Audi changed their interiors so much, this doesn't look all that new anymore. Yeah, weirdly, you can now buy a cheaper Audi than this. This is a £100,000 car with a better interior, so I'm sure that will be addressed soon enough. Now, point number two with fast Audis, obvious though it may well sound, is they are always very, very, very fast. This is an RS7 Performance, which should give you some idea of what's been changed. We're now at 605 horsepower. Produced from 6,100 to 6,800 RPM. So again, there's an indication there as to what it's like. 553 pound-foot on overboost, which is quite a lot. I mean, this is a 2-ton car, but just to give you some example, do that second gear and it just keeps, I mean, to me, 605 horsepower may even be conservative. It is ludicrously rapid. It's not the newest engine, this twin turbo 4 litre, but it's a really, really nice V8. Certainly very, very little hint that it's turbocharged. Perhaps there is a bit lower down the rev range, but yeah, it's so willing and so responsive, and actually as well sounds fantastic. You just get this woofle and this kind of rumble and some exhaust kind of cracks and popples. It's a really dramatic, exciting engine. All right, now point number three, when discussing a fast Audi, and I can't believe it's taken us this long, is the dynamics. This RS7 feels to have an odd kind of mixture of good fast Audi and bad fast Audi. In the bad column, surprisingly enough, goes the steering. It's just not very good. It's too light when it's in comfort mode, and then in dynamic mode, you get this artificial kind of weight and resistance to it. I know it's a familiar complaint with fast Audis, but this car's 5 meters long and weighs 2 tons. Like, you really want to know where you are with it, and you just can't. You sort of lose faith and lose confidence in it, sadly. The far bigger problem, bigger than the steering, is the ride. It's just on or off, basically, turning the suspension on or off. It's either way too stiff or just not stiff enough. In comfort mode, it is comfortable, actually. It's pretty good. But then when you do try to drive a bit quicker, it just loses a bit of composure. The wheels and the body just don't quite feel as tied down as you would like. Dynamic just stiffens everything up just to an unacceptable degree, and so you end up just being rocked along. The whole car just feels like it's buzzing because it's so stiff. Good brakes, actually. Brakes are decent. These are just the iron brakes, but actually they're not as grabby as you may find in some Audis. VWs, they're pretty good, pretty confidence inspiring. But the key part of this dynamics of the car overall is the sport differential. It was introduced by Audi in the previous generation S4, kind of 2008, 2009. It's a torque vectoring rear diff, and everybody's getting quite excited about those now, aren't they, with the Focus RS and cars like that, and it makes a real difference to this RS7 and how it behaves. In places like this, you can really feel the sport diff kind of do its thing. You brake, and you turn in, you're on the power straight away, and you can just feel it start to neutralise the car in a really kind of satisfying kind of way. You're sort of ever so slightly winding some lock off. It's not dramatic, it's not become an M5 or a Focus RS or anything, but it just feels to be doing more beneath you, which is kind of what you want from your fast car, isn't it? Overall though, I think there's plenty to like about this RS7. It might not be the newest, but courtesy of that amazing engine, a really good gearbox, some surprising dynamic elements, and the way it looks, I think it's still pretty competitive. All right, captains of industry, this is your second choice. It's the new Porsche Panamera Turbo. And isn't it remarkable how close these two cars are, given the tiny little niche that they operate in? You know, these are 4-seat, 4-door kind of saloon cum coupes, and yet they're both similar sort of price. Performance is really close actually. Both these cars have 4-litre twin turbo V8 engines, but they're different engines. They're not the same engine. It's so clean and so sharp, even compared to that Audi, which felt pretty good as you know, big capacity turbo engines go. Where the Audi I do feel has a key advantage though is in terms of noise. This sounds pretty good. It's got kind of a quite racy edge to it for sheer kind of theatre and excitement. The Audi's probably got it, but as an engine to use, I think the Porsche is probably better. Again, just in terms of that response and eagerness that, though good in the Audi, is better in this. Gearbox as well. It's an 8-speed PDK in here rather than 8-speed auto, and again, it's just that bit crisper, that bit sharper. Now, it would be impossible to discuss this new Panamera without mentioning the interior at some point, and it really is. It's stunning in here. Compared to the Audi, it feels many generations on, not just one. It's beautiful to look at, and once you've kind of got familiar with it, it makes sense to use as well. Now, we have drive modes here in the Porsche as there are in the Audi. The key difference here is I just feel like they're better set up and better calibrated for the car. So we have normal, sport, sport plus and individual. Even if we go to sport plus here, it's clearly firmer, but I'm not being shaken around everywhere. There's a level of control to the suspension that just doesn't feel to be there in the Audi. It's that subtlety and nuance that I was talking about. The best setting that I can find at the moment actually is probably just having it in sport. So that gives you the midway setting on the air suspension, middle throttle response, and it just seems like a nice mixture actually. Now, Porsche's got quite lucky in this comparison because you never lose sight in either car of them being very, very big, but I would say this Porsche does feel a fraction more precise when you are starting to drive a bit more quickly. Porsche's got quite good at electric steering, but this I don't feel is their best effort. It's precise enough, but has a degree of artificiality to it that actually most of their electric steering systems appear to have got out now. It's incredible just how much purchase this has on the road and how much of that, you know, monumental performance you can use. That will be partly due to just having more rubber on the road. I think it's kind of 305 section tyres at the rear here, where they're 275 on the Audi. Brakes here are carbon ceramic as opposed to iron in the Audi, and yeah, they're a fraction better, as you would probably expect. There's a nicer pedal response from the top of the pedal and more kind of outright stopping power. And hopefully you're sort of noticing the theme here that everything the Audi does well, the Porsche just does a fraction better, in some instances quite a lot better. But it really does tell, it really does tell. This is an exceptional car, very, very good car. On the road, the performance of these two seems inseparable, with the Porsche having a slight dynamic edge. But how can we find out which was truly fastest? Well, just like the briefcase bearers of Stuttgart, I live my life a quarter mile at a time. So we took the two of them to a dial-in day at Santa Pod. Dial-in basically means you predict a quarter mile time for your car, then the slower car gets a head start, and you have to beat the opposition but not beat your own time, so no sandbagging allowed. Everyone from the Nissan Leaf to the Dodge Charger was on a level playing field, and we predicted 12 seconds for our cars, and we'd start head to head.
I never thought driving in a straight line would be so scary. Honestly, it's 400 metres, I'm terrified. Alrighty, I think we are up. I really don't want to lose. I can't lose, can I? I've got 605 horsepower, I can't lose. Right, so we've been told we go pre-stage, stage, and there are 3 lights half a second apart. We've been told to go on the last yellow before it goes green. Here we go. If the worker could get himself in position, come on. Brakes are on. Push those lights. Go, 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 come on. 20, 40, 50, 60, good God. 80, 100 already. God, that's fast. Wow, I think we beat him. I think we have beat the Panamera there. I think I might have got a better start, but I think we've beaten it. God, that's brilliant. Look, I'm trembling. It's so much fun.
It turns out that I jumped the start in the first race, and the workie couldn't get the launch control sorted in the Panamera, so we were lined up for another go. Again, I got a better start, and the RS7 stormed to victory.
What is it?
Ask any racer, any real racer. Doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile, winning's winning. Successful run done, no false start. We've been told off. I've gone too fast down a drag strip, which I didn't think was possible. But the rules for today say you can't go under 12 seconds. You can't go less than 12 seconds. I've just done 11.8 seconds, having lifted off at the end. Lifted off 11.8 seconds. So there is every possibility we might get thrown off the drag strip. Still don't fully know which one's quickest. So the problem with drag racing is that you actually have to be quite precise, and that these small little differences can make a significant impact on your time and on performance. I still think this is a bit quicker, but let's see. I don't know. We could probably do this all day, couldn't we? I hope we do this all day. Alrighty then. Pre-stage staged. One light. Go! Oh, we've done it again. 20, 40, 60, 80. Oh, he's miles behind, 100 miles an hour. What's that? That can't be many seconds at all, can it? Oh, we have left him languishing. Well, that would have been a good race, but this is what happens when you've got work experience in the other car, isn't it? Whereas good old Audi. Tell you, the last time I was this excited about something that lasted 12 seconds, yeah, it wasn't drag racing. All right, so we're all done at Santa Pod for today. Sorry about the noise, there's some kind of chem block gymkhana all going on over there. And we do now finally have some times for these two cars. Now bear in mind, we weren't meant to go under 12 seconds today because they were sort of the rules. Audi did 11.7 and the Porsche did 11.4, so we were in a bit of trouble, but we do have a winner. We have a fastest car, which is the Panamera. Sadly for the Audi, that means it's lost the drag race and it's lost the comparison as well. Everything this car does well, the Porsche sadly does a bit better, and if you're spending that much money, you want the best, don't you? So buy the Porsche.